Hi there, my name is Tony O, and welcome back to school, you guys. This video clip is just going to walk you through some new features found online in ConnectEd. Looking at items 1 through 7, you can feel how these impact your instructional planning and that student experience, especially with the Spanish journals. As we look at line item 8, this is definitely going to be next steps in implementation with problem-solving tasks. And in this video clip, we'll actually get to hear from author Debbie Leslie, like what are these and why is it important that we have them? So that'll be at the end of the clip. The way this video is organized is to have a header slide by each of these 8 items. So in the event you want to fast forward and just check out the e-planner or the independent problem tasks, feel free to fast forward just to get the information you need. Over on the right-hand side is an example of our video library. One of the things that you'll notice in the implementation support is that we are often adding new video clips, even like the one I'm sharing with you today. Which leads us into line item number 1, Professional Learning Library. This is a growing opportunity to bring in short, focused little video clips that allow an opportunity to invite either new teachers to everyday math, or maybe you're switching grade levels, or maybe you're a math leader and you want to facilitate some opportunities with your teachers to go a little bit deeper in the concepts. So Kelly, Nikki, and I have taken the opportunity to make these engaging videos that allow you time to process. We have about 6 of them ready now, but we'll be adding more, and you'll find those in the implementation video icons that I showed you on this screen here. Item number 2 is an update. Last year, the paper journals went digital so that teachers could, in remote learning, be able to grade and review all of the math boxes like at once, digitally, just like you would in paper. The same option can be found in your Spanish subscriptions for students by clicking My eBook and then clicking whichever journal students are working in. You now will have that same experience for students using the Spanish subscription. If you'd like to know more about that feedback loop of what it looks like in Spanish or English to have students complete the work in the journal and then see it on the teacher side, we have a separate little video that you can access through the implementation support. Number 3 is a new class share feature. What this means is that when you guys log in and click class management over here on the left-hand side, it's going to launch your page with your students. You can see a new icon over here on the right, share. This icon is going to open up the opportunity to invite teachers into your class or for other people to invite you. By scrolling down the page a bit, you're going to see Mrs. EM 2021. I have shared this class with Karina. I can click the View and Edit option to open it up to see which teachers, in fact, I have shared that with. And here I see Karina's name, and you can leave any notes. This is where you would add or remove people that you are sharing your class with. Remember, they're going to have any data on specific students, so that does open up that access. The sharing requirements are you must be in the same district and you must have that same subscription of grade level books. Item number 4, the e-planner. If you've ever experienced stacking lessons, this feature is for you. On the planner, you notice when you click the cog wheel that it expands out options. The option that is new is being able to take today's lesson and shift all lessons forward, meaning maybe you didn't get to lesson 1, 2 today and you want to do it tomorrow, so you can just click that icon and it'll push everything forward. The next option is looking at extend lessons. This feature did not change, but if you're new to EM, what it means is it's going to take lesson 1, 2 and it's going to split it across August 24th and the 25th. The bottom 2 buttons allow an option. Let's say you were going to merge 2 lessons in one day or teach half of a lesson and you just wanted to open up access for students. By pushing lessons forward or moving them forward, you're not moving all lessons, you're moving the one lesson. However, it's going to stack the lessons on top. In the event that you want to open up the 25th for an instructional day, you can click the cogwheel and turn it to the flex day into an instructional day, which then would move these lessons back one day. So, I think we can all agree that this is an awesome improvement. Thank you, McGraw-Hill. All right, number 5, viewing student tiles. I've logged into first grade, and I want to show you from the student perspective. When they go to log in, their presentation slides are numbered, right? Like 1, 2, 3. We learned last year that teachers were curious about, well, how do I know what's on these tiles and which tiles they have compared to my presentation slides? By choosing the icon Plan Your Lesson in the upper right, I now can see all of the components in the flow of my day. Up above, right now, we see the tiles in Teacher View. By clicking Student View, it's going to mirror what we just looked at in the Student Center. And notice they're even numbered. So tile 1, 2, 3, and so on. If you wanted to make an instructional decision about the engagement, you could just click on the icon. It launches like planning considerations. But over here on the left, that top at tile, it will allow you to see that this has the deck of cards down here. Now this is a read-only version, but it gives you a pretty good idea about that level of engagement. Number 6 is all about being able to print your entire class versus individually by student in the data dashboard. This is an example of the grade card report. We're looking at Albert Einstein here, his trend over time. We also can see the recent activities completed. The value of these reports are really great, not just for you, the teacher, but support staff and families, because it even communicates the highest and lowest performance. When thinking about these report cards, in the past we had to go into each student and print them individually. Now, over on the left-hand side where it says all students, having that option open will allow you to, over on the right-hand side, export the entire class into one PDF that you can print. So item number 7 takes a closer look at the upgrade to the auto-scored assessments. By clicking Main Menu and scrolling to the word change, it was assignments, and now it says assessments. You will open up all the menu for assignable assessments. Now I have launched grade 2 unit 3. Clicking the question box, I can see there's 7 tasks here. By clicking through, you can see the engagement makes sense for students that will be auto-scored here. There are times that it is still open-ended, and students have tools down here to type out their solutions, as well as being able to, type in their solutions here. And so if you're using the online assessments for either in-person or virtual or distance teaching, you're going to notice the experience for students is definitely a higher level of quality, as well as the results you get back from the auto score sheets. And number 8 is great. This is where we get to celebrate some new pieces for students called the independent problem-solving tasks. So you might be asking yourself, what are they? How might they impact student thinking? And where are they located? I'm super excited to say we have a guest speaker for this part of the video. I'd like to introduce Debbie Leslie, Director of Education Outreach, and also you may know as an Everyday Mathematics Senior Author. And I asked Debbie to be with us today because we have some new stuff in EM that does impact students, and they're called Independent Problem-Solving Tasks. So Debbie, what are they and why do we have these?
Okay, so we were super excited to do these for kindergarten through 6th grade. There are 2 independent problem solving, we call them IPS for short, pages, per unit, per grade, starting in unit 1, going till the last unit of the grade level, in every grade starting in kindergarten through grade 6. each independent problem-solving page, so there are 2 per unit, has 2 problems on it. Sometimes the problems are related to each other, sometimes they are different from each other, but essentially that means there are 4 independent problem-solving tasks per unit, per grade. And we were really trying to introduce even more non-routine problem-solving opportunities into the program. So we went through and we were working on some new unit organizer pages around problem solving. And we feel like, our math messages, particularly if we introduce them without teaching to them first, but introduce them as kind of an open task and then use the follow-up, are kind of like a non-routine problem solving snack or appetizer, right? They're little and they're short and they kick off something else. And then our open response problems are like a novel or non-routine problem-solving meal. I mean, it's meaty and it might even have leftovers for the next day. It's big, and we felt like teachers were maybe hungry for something that was in between those 2 things, an entree, a side dish, maybe not the full course hungry person meal. And so these independent problem-solving tasks kind of are in that happy medium place. They're not going to add full new lessons, but they are not at the beginning of each lesson either. They're interspersed, they connect to the content of the unit. But they do what non-routine problems do, which is ask kids to pull content across different skills, across different places in the unit or units, in ways that we don't tell them how to do. They need to be creative and they need to synthesize and they need to take information from different places and they need to solve problems more like the ones that you'll solve in the real world and less like the ones that people like me who write curriculum maybe develop for a particular lesson in a particular place that are isolating something. So they bring things together. So we really wanted to do that. We had the best time writing these problems, bouncing ideas off each other and saying, is this context going to be fun for kids? Like steps at a museum or these kinds of foods. So anyway, we're excited about them. We hope people love them. We recognize that when you add things like this to the program, you need to be real flexible about how teachers are asked to implement them. And so while there are 2 pages per unit, 2 problems per page, and they are suggested to come anytime at or after a particular lesson. So that gives teachers a little bit of flexibility. If they want to do these on, fun problem Fridays, or if they want to do and move them around a little bit, that's going to work as long as they do them after the lesson they're designated with. So that's probably more than you wanted to know. But there they are. They come in the Math Masters book or they're on Connect Ed, right?
Yep, and I'll show that click path where all that good stuff's at. So that's interesting because non-routine problem, that phrase may be new to some people. It's kind of new to me, but it really isn't new to EM because you mentioned it's in the math message, it's in the open response, it's already in places. And so this lift out, what would you say is like one of the biggest impact pieces for learners? Like, what does it do for our students?
Yeah, I think it gives kids even more opportunities to learn how to be problem solvers generally, and not just to solve particular problems. And so one of the things that we look forward to talking even more to teachers about are these are an opportunity to continue to practice, talk about, be explicit about a lot of the things that teachers are doing with the open response problems. Like, how do you make sense of this problem? What's something you might try? Do you want to try a picture? Is there anything this reminds you of? So those kinds of skills that are less about saying, this is how we solve this problem, which is not how we want to necessarily intervene in these cases. We do that in other places in EM, but more about, these are some great strategies to use when we encounter problems in our books, in the real world, or whatever. We kind of think about what they remind us of. We do trial and error. We make it a simpler problem. We talk to somebody else. And so we really wanted to give teachers and kids an opportunity to continue to sort of flex that muscle, exercise it, talk about it even more. and really bring that to the forefront of what they think of when they think about doing math. All the other stuff is there. Get really good at knowing your facts and knowing a lot of different strategies for multiplication, but then even have more opportunities to figure out how to put that into a play, how to combine it with something else in the program and be a little bit more creative. So we really just wanted more opportunities for kids to exercise and flex those problem-solving muscles.
Okay, knowing that these tasks are for all students, and you talked a little bit about where they fit in the schedule, like a flex day or a fun Friday, but do you have any other tips for implementation for the teachers?
Yeah, I mean, I think these are a really, really good opportunity to help teachers connect to the work they're doing with the standards for mathematical practice. So if you have those posters posted around your room, or do anything else, teachers do anything else around being really explicit about the practices, I think helping kids realize that when they are not sure what to do, or trying something and it doesn't work, or trying something and it seems to be working, but they need to check to see if it makes sense, they're doing the work that we want them to be doing around math. They're practicing mathematics and learning even more about those standards for mathematical practice. So I think that's a connection to make for kids. I think for teachers, one of the things that we always talk about is productive struggle, and that's so great, but it's easier to talk about than to get to that place of where struggle is productive and that kind of fine line when it crosses into being, frankly, unproductive struggle. And so I think helping teachers really think about not that you can't help at all, not that you can't get involved while kids are doing this, but that it's less about getting involved with, okay, you're stuck, here's what you do, first try this, and more about getting involved and saying, okay, you're stuck, that happens in math. So what do you think you do understand? What makes sense to you in this problem? What's the part that's confusing you? So those kinds of questions that allow you to engage with kids as problem solvers generally, without necessarily taking over and saying like, okay, this will work, first try this. And so I think that is sometimes, I have found that that's sometimes helpful for teachers to say like, it's not all or nothing. It's not that we don't get to ever help them. It's thinking about the kinds of help that we provide. And I know in everyday math, we have problem solving diagrams. There's one like in the 4th grade student reference book that provide prompts. Again, a lot of the supports for the S&Ps provide prompts that help them think about those things. So that's where I like to think about it, is like interact. It's not that this is an opportunity for us to interact with kids and help them become better problem solvers, but it's more about how do we do that and less about this particular problem. So that strategies like that are the kinds of things that I think we should be more globally doing. And then maybe doing a debrief after the problem that lets kids talk about the strategies they use and get the frustration out there and acknowledge it and say, like, maybe you didn't get an answer this time, but you did last time and you might next time, that kind of thing. So we just wanted those to happen more often in the program, those kinds of opportunities.
And don't you think too, like when things happen more often, if you were anxious or you were shy, that over time, like you think about a kindergartner and then 1st grade and then 2nd grade, that it's just part of being a mathematician.
Absolutely. I think that's a super great point. By putting them there more often, we're giving them more opportunities to exercise this muscle, but we're also reducing the anxiety or the like importance placed on any single one of them. And I think that's true for teachers too. So if you never get to the IPS page in the first half of Unit 2, it's okay. Or maybe you'll send it home for homework, or like to really embrace these as another opportunity to do this, but not like, oh my God, one more thing to do. So yeah, I think that is true. The more we do this with kids, the less anxious they might be likely to feel and kind of take it in stride and get used to that. I think that's a great point.
Awesome. Well, I think we covered it. I'm going to show the teachers now where to get this good stuff.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to add before I let you get back to your Friday?
No, just have fun with these. Worry not as much about like mastery and expect, like they may need to go beyond what they know or pull a few things together and be creative. And so this is a place to sort of maybe let go of some of that, see what they can do, maybe grade them more on effort than on correct answers. So those kinds of things, I think, are just and we really invite people to tell us how they're working and share tips with each other so that we can make these a really rich part of the program that's working for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time and your insight.
Thanks.
All right, to get your hands on these little goodies, you're going to use the main menu, scroll down to section or unit. On the right-hand side, right here where it says resources, the purple icon, go ahead and click that. And it will give you a resource tag over here on the left. The new independent problem solving tab is here, so go ahead and click that. And what it's going to do is populate everything that's tagged to that new feature. So you're going to notice 3 types of resources. Number 1, the unit planning guide. Number 2, all of the Math Masters. And number 3, a user guide. So let's first take a look at the updated organizer for every single unit. If these pages do not look like your teacher edition, that's okay. These are enhancements that you have been provided with these PDFs. Taking a minute to peruse them to notice some of the features will help you see links to the past and to the future. These planning pages allow an opportunity to think about the 3 pillars of rigor for teacher clarity, and also everything in red is linked to the fact fluency for your grade. If you scroll down, you're going to notice other features. Maybe you have a district initiative around math discourse. Here you're going to find in the specific lessons where that rich discourse is at. Just another layer to add clarity. But here we are with an overview of problem solving and where these pieces fit in the program, as well as the new independent problem solving tasks. These pages will be important because they give you this nice little blurb overview as well as after what lessons the tasks fall. These pages that you see in this unit organizer are ready to go for each unit that you have. A couple of other features here you'll notice in the virtual learning community. If you haven't yet signed up, please do. You have access to video clips that really can enhance you teaching the specific unit, as well as the streamlined look at the spiral tracker. Here you're going to see that star portion of the standard we want to master, but check it out. It even gives you when you're done teaching that full standard. So print these pages off, and then let's head back over to that main menu so I can show you the user guide. So right here's the user guide. This user guide is to provide that little mini overview as well as this specific click path that you see here. If you keep scrolling down, you're going to notice by grade level that we are showcasing the pages from the unit organizer I just shared with you, as well as the name of the tasks and the Math Masters that are associated with that. You have one table like this for every single grade as you click through and see. That will help your planning year at a glance. And if you want to print these off, you could just tape them in that front cover of your teacher edition so you always have that awareness. All right, so then we also have the Math Masters and the solutions. You can always tell the solutions because you can see the pink from afar. So let's open up the task. And just a reminder that these are front back and they are not included in your journal because these are additional practice types. Well, and you heard Debbie. We're really excited to hear about how these tasks are going. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or you want to share solutions that your students produced in your classroom, because we are in this together as a learning community. And at any point, if you want more professional development at your district or school, don't hesitate to reach out to your account manager to get something scheduled. You guys have a great day.